Hello, what's going on, guys? And today I want to talk about, in my opinion, the most underrated fighter in the UFC, and that is Ilia Topuria. I know Ilia Topuria is the champion. I know he just beat Alexander Volkanovski, and I wonder how everyone out there is thinking, how can this boy be underrated? But genuinely, Ilia Topuria is a monster. Let's get right into this video. Okay, so first off, I want to start with that Ilia Topuria, champion 14-0, is an absolute monster of a fight. A monster and a nightmare of a fight for any single person in the featherweight division. If you look at the featherweight rankings, I really think there's only one person who could possibly beat him, and there's two tough fights for him in the division. The only person who could beat Ilia Topuria is Max Holloway. Easy. That's it. The two hard fights for Ilia Topuria, Yair Rodriguez and Arnold Allen. You know, I look at Alexander Volkanovski, and he is going to be a hard fight for Ilia Topuria. But the issue with Alex is he's already been in the cage with Ilia. I understand he adapts very well, but his chin just isn't there compared to some of these other people. When you fight Ilia, you have to have a chin of steel because that boy possesses so much power in those hands. You look at Josh Emmett's chin; he has an iron chin, and he was able to go all 5 rounds with Ilia. And I thought he died in the octagon when I saw that the first time. But really, the only person who I think could beat Ilia genuinely is Max Holloway, because he has that chin of steel and he is such a good distance. He's so good with distance management rather than someone who, like Volkanovski, who is shorter, who has to be closer. That first round that Volk had, where he was throwing a bunch of kicks, was more than fine. But once Volk got comfortable in the fight, he started throwing a lot of punches, which got the range a lot closer for Topuria to finish. But the reason why I think Ilia Topuria is so underrated is you look at his duality of his striking and his grappling, and also his IQ is amazing. Let's start with the IQ first, because that's what I think really brings him his power within the octagon. You look at that Alexander Volkanovski fight and the way he was cutting off the cage. I know Joe Lopez, was it Alexander Volkanovski's coach, said that the only reason that Topuria won was by a fighting chance. If you look in that fight, Ilia Topuria was controlling the octagon at all times, no matter what. And that ultimately led Ilia to getting the shot to knock Alexander Volkanovski out cold. One of the most impressive knockouts I have seen. I know Volkanovski got knocked out by Islam, but this knockout for Topuria was a lot more impressive than the Islam knockout. Ilia Topuria's spatial awareness within the octagon is what makes him special. He always knows where he is. He always slips punches very small to where he just slips them enough, but then is always there, and he always keeps that boxing stance within the octagon. He knows when to throw leg kicks. He knows when to throw punches, and he knows when to grapple, and ultimately that is a massive asset within the octagon. Now, if we look at Ilia Topuria's grappling, that Bryce Mitchell fight, Ilia Topuria was throwing Bryce Mitchell, which is something that I would never thought I would see. Bryce Mitchell's got that Arkansas strength, and Ilia Topuria just said, "Come here, hold my beer, I'm gonna throw you," which is insane. Ilia Topuria is a monster on the ground, and it just isn't shown. You look at that Josh Emmett fight. Josh Emmett is primarily a striker, and I haven't seen Josh Emmett go to the ground that much. The only person I remember him getting submitted by was Yair Rodriguez, and even then, that was a triangle. So that wasn't something that was like full-on grappling, where it was just Yair was on his back and got an arm isolated. But really, Ilia is one of the best grapplers in the 145 division, and I just don't think there's a lot of people who can hold up with him. I know there might be some better grapplers. I know Movsar Evloev and Aljamain Sterling are in this division, but ultimately, Ilia is so strong that what he may lack in true top-tier grappling technique, he just has in strength. And that's something that, yes, won't help him in the long run or help him in every single exchange, but it's going to be good enough to get him back to the feet to then knock out his opponent. And then we look at Ilia's hands and strength. Ilia is perfect with that boxing stance on the feet. I don't know if there's a better fighter who is a better pocket boxer in the UFC. Dustin Poirier is up there, and that's the only name that comes close. Ilia's pocket boxing within the organization is some of the best we've ever seen in the octagon. And ultimately that allows him to get in close, allows him to be safe, just that confidence that he has and possesses in himself to go pocket box, is truly incredible within the octagon. And like I said before, that power that he possesses to just absolutely throw people away. You look at the Bryce Mitchell throw, you look at the Alexander Volkanovski knockout, you look what he did to Josh Emmett, of how he was having combos, sending Josh Emmett flying across the octagon. The Jai Herbert knockout, where he just absolutely he just swept him. And Ilia Topuria is insane. He's absolutely crazy. And truly, Ilia Topuria is, I think, one of the most underrated fighters in the organization. I don't think anyone in featherweight can beat him. The only person who could beat Ilia in the UFC is Islam Makhachev if he goes up to 155, which I don't think they'll ever fight. But Sean O'Malley doesn't stand a chance. No one in the featherweight division, in my opinion, stands a chance. The only person who could beat Ilia Topuria is my pound-for-pound #1 fighter in the UFC, and that is Islam Makhachev. I thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe, leave a comment about how good do you really think Ilia Topuria is. I was so high on Ilia Topuria after seeing that Bryce Mitchell and Josh Emmett fight, to where I picked him to win by knockout versus Volkanovski, and so many people thought I was crazy to then him knock out Volk in the second round in incredible fashion. But please let me know what you think about Ilia Topuria. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and new UFC content is coming very soon.